Manic mower is getting finished this summer, and welcome to Bare Wrench TV. So, if you watched the compilation video, you kind of got a rundown on what this is. If you didn't, it's what remains of a snapper high vac mower. How old it is, I don't know. What remains of it is this front clip and some panels on the back that made up like framework. Started with an idea in December of 2024 to just swap an engine, and just kind of make it fast, do an axle swap, engine swap, whatever. Carson mentioned why not find a snowmobile or a two-stroke for it. Found a snowmobile engine, found a cheap snowmobile. I think it was like 250 bucks. So I got a 580 Arctic Cat out of a 95 EXT, fuel injected, and I built everything around that. I built it so well that the engine doesn't come out of this thing unless you pull the heads off. Don't plan on having to do that, but it doesn't. I built the frame to go around the exhaust, custom mounts, custom frame, obviously, body panels out of street signs. I built a gas tank out of street sign, put go-kart steering in it. I put go-kart axle under it, and it's at the point where I don't even remember where I left off. I think where I left off was wiring, but let's go to the list and we shall see. This is the list. I can wipe this off because I have it. So, radiator, that's what I got it set on the way. Anyhow, so what it needs a chain. It needs a rear sprocket. It needs a fuel tank vent. It needs a chain guard. It needs a belt guard. I need to mount the radiator, do the wiring harness, figure out a seat. Still haven't wrapped my head around what I'm gonna do with that. Panels still need finish. Needs brakes. Needs coolant tank mounted. Fit the deck. Wheels and tires. Battery holder. And finishing touches to the frame, which means there's probably stuff on the frame that's not fully welded. Now, if I remember right, I did fully weld this frame, but I could be wrong. So anyhow, I think I'm gonna start with wiring because that is about all I have the supplies for right now. So what'll happen here is pretty simple. We're gonna take this harness, and there's also this harness for whatever this box is. We gotta make it fit. So this whole thing is just gonna get completely rebuilt. Or I gotta get everything hooked up to where it goes, make sure I'm not missing things. If I'm missing things, that becomes a struggle. And from there, you shorten it, you splice it, you try not to have to splice it. If I had the tooling, I would just repin connectors. So pretty simple. Yank stuff apart, put it back together in a completely different way. And then it'll look way better too. Look proper. So it'll get tied in here, or it'll tied down here. I'd like to have it underneath the frame, hide it a little bit, but then I risk it possibly getting in the belt and everything. So like, if you look here, this is the EFI controller, and these are the injector connectors. Well, that you just made a big loop. So I can take these right off the bat, and I can make them go whoop, right there, nice and short. So just one thing at a time, shorten it up, get to where you need to go. Okay, now to some of you, this mess probably looks like a giant headache and not something that you would want to tackle. I don't mind it. I like wiring. I like making wiring look nice. I like figuring it out. And honestly, it's not that hard. It's really simple. But I did figure out I should probably find some de-pinning tools, quite the variety, and just unpin and redo wiring the right way. Actually, that is the right way. Like, that is the best way to do it, is unpin and repin if you can. I'm gonna get those, I'm gonna figure out something to do about that. And I also, as is the theme with this project, I started on it late at night and I am going to bed. So I will catch you up tomorrow. And honestly, this might be a short filler video for this week because there's not a lot going on. I do gotta fix the Jeep. I do got projects, but I got a lot of other things to do. So who knows? Okay, so I figured out that I don't have anything I need to do the wiring on the mower, and I don't have much parts to do anything on it. So, switching gears, I got something to fix on the Jeep because the brake caliper for this wheel shit out. Not the whole caliper, but I was trying to bleed the brakes the other day, and the bleeder didn't want to do bleeder things. Like, it didn't want to shut off, it just wanted to do bleeder things the entire time. So I gotta see if I have all the tools I need to get this apart. And when I say that, I'm a professional mechanic, but all my tools are at work and I don't have keys to get in. So I gotta see if I have all the tools I need at home to get this changed so that at least I still have a toy. Now when I tell you I don't have enough tools here, I'm not kidding. I have a 1/2-inch socket that fits these, and I have a 1/2-inch breaker bar, but I don't have an extension. So pipe trick it is. Okay, we have arrived at the parts store, or Elmies. So we'll go inside and we'll see if they have a brake caliper for my Jeep. So we made it out of O'Reilly's. Brake caliper, brake fluid, receipt, all that fancy jazz. Now we're gonna go get food, and then when I get back home, I'll put the brake caliper on, and we will bleed the brakes, and hopefully they actually work a little better. And just like that, we are back and ready to go back together. Replacement time, 1 hour. Wow. I can tell you, that's a lie. It took me far less than even a half hour to get this off. Good old single piston. There we go. That rubs on the arm, the radius arm, I guess is what you could call it. But it rubs on that. That doesn't matter right now. You see these tires? The junk. There's a set I want to get for it, just to run on these wheels and these axles until I end up axle swapping it. But the set is 4 hours away. I don't really feel like driving 4 hours. especially with the price of diesel right now. And I don't know if I would trust this thing to drive 4 hours. Okay, it will actually tighten that once it's on the ground. That's probably good. I can tell you in all honesty, that's probably too tight. Okay, I will check those another time with a torque wrench and probably redo them. But now I'll get fluid in it, and I'll get the brakes bled, and then I might drive it to work tomorrow, so I will update you if I do on how it goes. But that's all for tonight. Okay, so I just took it out on a test drive. The brakes, they're not spongy, but they're not like right there. You got probably an inch of pedal travel before you hit them, and then it works best if you pump it a couple times and then hit them. So, you know, it's got brakes, it stops. It just takes a while to stop. I went out on some gravel roads and did some checking, and it'll try to lock up the fronts. I don't think it's trying to lock up the rears, but it's got drums in the rear, and I need to adjust those probably and bleed them, and I didn't have a small enough wrench for the bleeder on those, nor do I know if the bleeder is going to actually crack free, so I should probably hit it with some penetrating oil. But it's got brakes again. So anyhow, well, I decided to drive the thing to work, and if no one knew, I don't have plates on it or anything yet. I got pulled over because I don't have plates on the Jeep, which I was going to get around to doing here soon, but he's probably writing me a ticket. So he's got his clipboard. He's definitely writing me a ticket. Okay, it's lunchtime. I got the Jeep home, and I am going to have to just go get some plates for it if I want to drive it on the roads. Obviously, I can trailer it to the trails. If I could get my trailer out, it's stuffed behind my camper. But yeah, got a ticket, $132, and got it for no plates. So that was a lovely morning. Anyhow, that's all for this week. It's sunny and it's raining and it's weird. But see that? No plate. That's why I got this. I'm gonna get plates on it next week, and I don't know what you're gonna see next week. It's kind of just always play it by ear. So anyhow, thanks for watching Bent Wrench TV, and make sure you like and subscribe.
And that's all, folks.